Uncertainty in the world is going to be the new normal. Today, India does not have large-scale strategic reserves. We need to have that. A country of 1.4 billion people, and we don't have enough reserves. We should be at least having reserves for 6 months. We were able to anticipate and plan a little bit ahead of time. All my CEOs, all my CEO minus one has to be homegrown. And that can only happen when a person who has joined us from grounds up and fully aligned in terms of how family is thinking, how the leadership is thinking. Chairman to the bottommost person, right? We have a hierarchy of 15 layers. We have changed that to not more than 6. What made us successful was that our person on the ground was able to take decisions fast. EV is really going to change the whole logistics landscape. Legacy, I would like to leave for India to be proud of the assets that we have built, not just for next 10 years, 50 years, but for next 100 years. Let's say if I have to take a comparison, I would like to hope that we would reach a Tata level.
So करण भाई, आपको आपके चाइल्डहुड में कब लगा that this is different, this is not a normal upbringing, and you are on to something really different, really contributing to building the nation?
So whether it was breakfast, lunch, dinner, holidays, it was all about, conversations were all about work. At a very young age, he had a strong belief in the country, and he really believed that the country can really grow, and if we can play a small part to it in terms of differentiating the assets, differentiating the kind of assets that we have to make, and not just follow the normal, what everybody is doing. And second, he always believed, even at the early age, that just build infrastructure ahead of time. India is such a big country, there's no point chasing demand. Demand will come. You just have to keep increasing supply and demand will be there. It was non-negotiable. You have to be hands-on. You have to learn from the ground. You can't be just sitting on the top when you come in. So first 10 years, all of us have to be on the ground to get our hands, to roll up our sleeves, to understand what are the ground reality, how does operation work, how does projects get executed. But that was a choice that all of us were given, and each individual willingly took the call. Honestly, all of us at an early age, we knew that we wanted to come back.
So what did go in your personal leadership to scale this business so rapidly? This has grown like 3x the GDP of India.
Having the right people in the right jobs. So I was lucky enough to build a good leadership team. Second thing we were very hyper-focused on each and every ton of cargo which the country was handling. So we used to literally fight every day for each and every vessel. And third was we really focused on efficiency. We put ourselves that we have to be 2 times of our competition.
Wow.
Minimum 2 times of our competition. And so for that, we had whatever we had to do, whether it was bringing automation, whether it was looking at time motion study, whether looking at our processes, everything. But it was a day in, day out job. And the fourth thing I would say, so we were able to anticipate and plan a little bit ahead of time. So in 2009, a predominant growth was through coal. We saw that coal will at a point come down. We need to de-risk ourselves, which was more of a 4-year, 5-year ahead that we were able to plan. And that's why when actually it happened, we were very well placed to take that growth. Personally believe that battery and EV is really going to change the whole logistics landscape. There are 3 problems that logistics space faces. First one is that our fuel cost is not under our control because we are an import dependent country. Second, it is an unorganized sector. Third, the biggest challenge on logistics, nobody wants to honestly be a driver the way the country is moving. So EV is one of the biggest game changer which will help us solve these three problems. One, right, EV the energy comes from solar.
Yeah,
So you charge, you
absolutely.
you don't need to import that. EVs are designed to be autonomous. And third, with technology and EV coming in, you can actually make it very organized. You can bring in the whole digital layer where you can actually make it very organized and play a larger role in terms of optimization and how we are able to bring the cost down. So I believe that today our if you talk to any logistics company, you ask them what is their per ton per kilometer cost, right? Today it will be anything between 4 to 4.5 rupees. If you see the whole logistics cost for a consumer, right? Port is only 10% of their logistics cost. Shipping is 20%. 70% comes through road transportation. Right? So if a country like ours, which is transporting 1.5 billion ton through sea route, we are transporting 4 billion tons on our roads. So even if we are able to take 10 or 15 or 20% of that, that's a huge kicker. From chairman to the bottommost person, right, the operator on the ground, we have a hierarchy of 15 layers. We have changed that to not more than 6. So 3 in head office, 3 inside. That's it. Why we are doing that? One is by having less hierarchy, we are bringing more empowerment on the ground. What made us successful was that our person on the ground was able to take decision faster. We don't want to lose that because we are becoming bigger. There's more accountability also established. Second is with AI coming in. If you see what does AI help us to do? AI helps us to analyze information.
Sure.
And to bring in, right? So, and when you look at our organization, what is the middle management doing? Now you don't need that whole middle management.
Sure.
Because that layer AI can do for you.
Yeah.
What we look for is somebody who is going to be, has the ability to get their hands dirty, at the same time to be able to take a larger view. Second, we look for people who are more commercially sharp. And third, people who have come up from, people who have struggled in their life, where success has not been easy, because they have to fight each and every day
Sure.
to be successful. So that brings in the fire in the belly. So honestly, that's the third thing that we look for. And the fourth thing that we look for is person who has actually run a site. Run a site, because what we've realized is that we'll find a lot of CEOs or a lot of top management, but who have never been to a site.
Sure.
And they have just moved up, but never actually been on the ground, which does not work for us. So end of the day, what we give is honestly an opportunity that nobody in the country is able to give. We are ready to take a bet that I'm going to make him a CEO of a port, or give him an asset which is the same size as a competition. So honestly, we are looking for people who are getting kick out of building assets, making a change. Why AI implementation in organizations have not been successful to the level that it's supposed to be is predominantly because we are not changing the structure of the organization.
Sure.
So we also believe that if we have to be relevant, no matter how good the assets are, but if we have to be relevant 10 years, 15 years down the line, unless AI adoption is not there at a scale, it is not possible. And one of the biggest bottlenecks for that is the structure, organization, and the number of people. So we are making, with this 3-layer, also this whole thing goes out so that AI can help us in terms of implementation. So that doesn't mean there's going to be job loss.
Sure.
It just means that my partners will come in. Partners will also need talent.
Sure.
Most of these people will move into the partner role.
You know, इतना crowded ये धंधा है, इतना capacity है, you know, आप घुसे क्यों इसमें?
When we looked at the cement business, you would know better than me, but the three costs which are almost 70% of the cost of making a cement, which is coal, energy, and electricity, and then logistics. These are the three biggest costs on cement. And when we looked at the group, we know that these three costs we are able to actually optimize and bring it to a global benchmark. For Ambuja, I have when I analyzed the last 10 years, 2021 was the best year, the COVID year. So we already have the recipe, what we have to do. We just have to be able to follow what they have already done. Three things that we are working towards to be able to reduce this further. One is we are going to have our own captive coal mine, which work has already started. Sure. Construction has already started. So our target is in next 3 years, our coal cost will be constant for next 20 years. We block in fly ash at plants, which are whatever price we are getting, and then put in rakes and transport them directly. So you have, again, you bring surety and discipline. And with that, we believe that our fly ash cost will come down by almost 300 rupees. The third is on the energy. So what we are doing is putting our own captive renewable plant. We already completed 700 megawatt, 1000 megawatt by end of this year. And basically with that, we will be able to reduce our energy cost by 3 rupees. Between WHRS and the solar plant, we would be able to reduce by 3 rupees. And then obviously the last is logistics. Our logistics cost is roughly 1100 rupees per ton. 1100 will come down to roughly 800 to 850 rupees per ton. We will be able to beat the competition by 500 to 600 rupees in next 5 years time. This project has been going on for more than 12 months for us. The way we look at it is that coal is going to be...
Because we have the largest reserve
We have the
of coal
largest
in the
reserve
world.
and coal is not going to be used after 20 years time. So what are you going to do with such a large reserve? In China, 1.5 billion tons of coal is used into gasification.
Sure.
That is the same amount as what India consumes today as a country, right? Putting everything together.
Sure.
Technology is not an issue.
Sure.
Because technology is ready-made available. Market is not an issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
India is a huge
and that's the
market.
real only way to solve
Exactly.
India's gas problem.
And that's honestly, that's how we
or
are
even the
looking.
fertilizer problem.
In coal gasification, everything is going to be in Indian rupees. In LNG and crude, everything is going to be in dollar terms. So we don't take into account the inflation on the currency risk as well, right?
Sure.
So I think when we compare all of this, coal gasification, in our view, will be cheaper than what we are doing today. Uncertainty in the world is going to be the new normal. So the way I look at it, energy security and supply chain security goes hands in hand. We need to have a structured program. How do we move that into a sort of a base which is playing to our strength as a country? So what is our strength as a country? The minerals that we have, which is coal, bauxite, we have sun, we have water, right? So we need to, and we have wind. So we have to play to our strength. We need to have our own strategic reserve. Today, India does not have large-scale strategic reserves. We need to have that. A country of 1.4 billion people, and we don't have enough reserves. We should be at least having reserves for 6 months.
Sure.
Right? Countries like Japan, US have one year.
Sure.
Right? So that is something that we need to target. Globally, there are 4 choke points anywhere in the world.
Sure.
Right? You have Panama Canal, you have Suez Canal, you have Strait of Hormuz, and you have Strait of Malacca.
Sure.
These are the 4 choke points globally.
Sure.
And we as a country, we need to have a strategy for these 4 choke points.
Since you are here,
Easier said than done.
I can't resist but talk about Gautam Bhai. So, 2 or 3 things which you learned from him.
His ability to go into detail, it's mind-blowing. And ability to connect one event to the other. that is something mind blowing, and something which we still have to learn, still have to do a lot more. Second is his resolve not to give up.
That's amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah, we had the Australia project, so much opposition. The whole market was telling that we need to give up. When the whole market said that it does not make sense, you should not give up. Or the same in the thermal business when it was in 2009 to 14, again, a very tough period. But so second, I would say the one thing that we learned is never give up. Whatever you have started, you have to finish till the end.
Sure.
You can't leave it halfway.
Sure.
And third is his ability to keep changing, transformating. Right? He does not like sitting idle.
Sure.
If he genuinely believes that if everything is still, means there's something wrong.
If you had to give advice to my young entrepreneurs here, a younger generation, what will be your words of wisdom for them?
There's no substitute to hard work. You have to sacrifice a lot to succeed. Third, you have to be on the ground, you have to be on top of things, and no matter how good is the strategy, but if execution is weak, it doesn't work. Legacy I would like to leave is for India to be proud of the assets that we have built, not just for next 10 years, 50 years, but for next 100 years. Let's say if I have to take a comparison, I would like to hope that we would reach a Tata level.